So in this video, I just want to go through your workbook and just give you a little bit of advice on how to fill it out, really. So what I did, I tried to make everything red that you need to change. So your title should be the same as your first assignment, so the proposal. However, I know a few of you had to change your teams due to videos being deleted and such. So just make sure you change it if you had to change your teams or anything. Right, acknowledgements page. You don't need to do this at the end. This will be one of the last pages you'll do. But this is just about anyone who may have helped you during the project. So it's done in all dissertations. I don't know if like your parents recorded games for you or anything. This is just where you mention someone and you just thank them for it. This is self-explanatory. This is just your contents page. Make sure you put the right page numbers in here for where everything is. Abstract, so this will be one of the last things that'll be in past tense. Basically what an abstract does is sums up the entire project, but it does it in about 100 words. They're very, very brief. Just basically fill out the bits, fill in the blanks really, and it just helps you with your abstract. Introduction, you should recognise everything of your introduction from your proposal. You completed all of this in your proposal. The only difference is now this must be in past tense. So your proposal is written before you actually start your project, and it says what you will be doing. Whereas your dissertations or your project summary, as you're doing it, is written after you've completed your project. Therefore, your project's in the past. So this will be this has to be written in past tense. But all of this you've already done, so it's just literally copy and pasting from your proposal. Right, literature review. So the first bit, the performance criteria, you've already done your proposal, so you can copy and paste that. Now what you need 2 previous investigations, so 2 previous studies. Now you'll find these on places like Google Scholar. You'll find them in places like Sport Discus. You'll also find them in the Hughes and Franks book I told you about, which is available in the library. I can show you that. I can link it on Blackboard for you, and it'll help you find 2 previous investigations. I've also put my personal literature review from my dissertation on Blackboard for you to look at how to write up a dissertation. But basically, this point in red here is just really guidance, telling you how to fill out a literature review, what information you need really. So you'll delete that, but that's just a guide. Now these boxes, I don't want you to write the stuff in the boxes. It needs to be written as paragraphs, but the boxes are there as a guide. So what was the title of the study? Then give me a brief description of what the study was and what their aims were. What did they want to find out and how did they go about conducting it? So what was their methodology? How many people were involved? And then what did they actually find out? So what were the results from their study, and what did they conclude from it? Then is there anything you can take from that into your project? So would it be something from the methodology, or would it be something which they've concluded which you also wanted to go on and investigate? And that'll be the same for the second investigation as well. So now going on to your methodology. This part again is from assignment 1. Right, this is your equipment list. So there's already a PowerPoint slide on Blackboard for this. Just follow through that. But basically anything you use, you've got to put in your equipment list. You're not using hand notation, so you can just put that comment in here saying hand notation method wasn't used. This is because Dartfish does everything that I needed. So you delete this as well. What you need to put in here though is your operational definition. So that's a table of your definitions for everything you were coding. So most of you have done this already. Again, this is on Blackboard for you as well. But you will define what a shot is. Now it's what your definition of a shot is. So for example, a shot on target. So some people may code a shot that hits the post as being on target, whereas some people may say that as being off target. So it's your personal definition. And then if we go on down, you talk about how you set the tags up and why. So what types of buttons did you use? So your performance criteria and your rule break were event buttons, and then your work rate, so your walking, jogging, and sprinting, were continuous event buttons. And then you talk about how everything else were keyword buttons, which are descriptive buttons. And then what you need to do is talk about, you need to give examples of what you would do. So if you saw a successful pass, what buttons would you click and in what order? So I'd click pass first, then click whether it's successful or not, the type of pass, which player it was, and where on the pitch it was. So repeat that for the rule break and the movement analysis. Then what you need to do is include a print screen of your tagging window of all your buttons, and then you'll label that appropriately by here. Organization prior to testing. So what did you do before testing? So you say things like, I had a practice attempt. Make sure you mention how you practice using your system first. So you just picked a random game, you coded it for 20 minutes to make sure your system worked. You made sure your computer, you used the same computer every time, and you made sure the mouse, the keyboard, everything was working properly beforehand. You just made sure you knew the formation, the players, the team, things like that. Okay, during testing. So what did you actually do? So talk about the practice like you did at the top. Recording results, who recorded results using what? So talk about yourself, how you used Dartfish. But then it says any difficulties you came across. Now this is important. All of you need to write a statement in here that says something along the lines of, due to the time constraints of the project, a reliability study was unable to be completed. Therefore, the results cannot be considered fully reliable within the project. Then you've got your validity and reliability considerations. So this here copies and pastes right from your first assignment again, which was the merit bit. However, by here, where it says 2 people be completing the scoring, you can put another sentence here again, which says, unfortunately, I can complete this reliability study, and then just talk about how that can affect your results. Ethical considerations, legal considerations from assignment 1 also. Right, now we go into results. So the first bit is your descriptive statistics. So you notice mean, mode, median, and standard deviation. I showed you how to do that, so you just need to put that in. So there's videos on Blackboard, and there is also PowerPoint showing you how to do this. Again, kurtosis and skewness. I showed you how to do this. This is where you will copy and paste in your curve charts as well, which will be backed up by the numbers. What you also need to do is put in all the charts that you made. So make sure you do this appropriately. Like I said, scientific formula, like everything was shown for you on the videos on Blackboard and through the PowerPoints. And make sure you put the titles appropriately. Don't need to do any description here, this is just your results. Okay, so inferential statistics, so this is all about the t-test. Now the book's a little bit outdated for this because where Excel 2013 had an update, I was able to find a quicker way for you to do the t-test, so you can pretty much delete most of this, and you just need to have here what your t-value was and whether your results are significant or not. So put in what your actual p-value was and say whether it's greater or lower than 0.05, and then mention whether that's significant or not. You've got to do that for both data sets and say whether they were significant or not. And you've also got to do it for the different types of data you were looking at. So now we go into our discussion. So your discussion here, this is where you start to describe your results. You will not put any tables or charts in here. All you'll do is talk about them. Talk about what you find out, and also talk about what you can see. That is what your discussion's about. So talk about the results and how that potentially impacted the team. Okay, was there any differences between the two data sets, or were they similar? Why were they different? Why were they similar? You can relate back to the findings of your literature review. Okay. Also, why were there differences? Why were there similarities? This is the bit where you're really going to push for the higher criteria. So this is the bit you really need to focus on, is your discussion. If I just bring up your front sheet now, because you've also got your biomechanics higher criteria in here as well. So in your discussion, you need to offer feedback to the team, but you're going to do it in a slightly different way. So you're going to do it in a scientific format. So you're going to do it through. Let me just bring it up for you a minute. So biomechanics criteria, you need to perform tool notation analysis, which you've done already, okay? Explain the strengths and areas for improvement in each. So you've already done your statistics and data representations of results finds, because that's done in your results section. Okay, now you need to correctly evaluate your findings, which you're naturally going to do in your discussion. What you need to do is provide future actions for the team. So how could they get better? So, and justify it. So would these be technical or tactical changes? Do they need to improve certain components of fitness? Okay, do they need to, can you suggest a drill perhaps that they could use? Things like this. So you will naturally get chances to do this here. Okay, and make sure you read all these subheadings here, because they'll help you as well. Within your front sheet, they help you, as well as the workbook, they help you. Right, so if I go back to where we were. Once you've done your discussion now, you do your conclusion. Again, this is like your abstract, it's concise and to the point. It is very concise. What you find out, what was the aim, did you achieve your aims, what were the results, and were they significant? So include the mean and t-test. Just do everything it tells you to do. And then after that, you'll have an appendix. So in your appendix and your reference list, your appendix will be all your raw data. So can you literally copy and paste all your raw data from Excel? So all that stuff, the whole bit you copied and pasted from Dartfish, can you just put that from Excel into here just to show your raw data? Then the reference list has to be Harvard referencing style. You all know how to do that. If you don't, use a website called citethisforme.com, and that'll help you out massively. And then there's just, it's giving you advice here on how to make sure you do it properly. So you need to make sure it's in the hanging paragraph style. So what you do is you highlight, and then you right click, and then there's an option that says paragraph, and then go to hanging. So like it shows you below, tells you how to do that. You have to do that for any scientific project. It just gets you into good habits. And then overall, it all needs to be justified. So you will highlight everything and press up here for justify. And then what you also need to do is put it a 1.5 line space in. So if you go here, click down and press 1.5, and that just puts in the perfect scientific format for you.